Happy Friday. Hope everyone is doing well. The weekend is about to get started. Yay! While we're waiting on folks to join, Cooped Up is my website. Would love you to visit that anytime. I'm Cooped Up as my handle in all the social places. I love a follow on Instagram in particular. And wherever you watch or listen to this, be sure that you click the subscribe button, the bell, whatever it's called, so that you don't miss a second of it. This is aired on Facebook Live, YouTube Live, and then also streamed audio on all of the major podcast platforms. So you can find me there. Hope everyone is doing well. Let's get rolling. And also love your comments, particularly on a Friday. Love the comments. There's about a 20-second delay between the time you comment and I see them. So I may not understand what you're talking about. So you may have to refresh my memory. So anyway, so I woke up this morning with a little bit of good news. So I wake up every morning at 6:30, and I have my iPad in the bedroom. I don't bring my phone to the bedroom, but I do bring my iPad to the bedroom. And I read the Dallas Morning News. I read the Wall Street Journal. I kind of scan my email. I look at my Facebook memories. I also check what I posted the night before. Now that I'm mostly sober, it's not been nearly as scandalous as it used to be. Sometimes I'd wake up in the morning and be like, what the hell did I post last night? And then I would be like, it wasn't too controversial or damning or whatever. So, and then I do the Wordle in the morning, and I did really great on the Wordle today too. I got it in 2. Wordle in 2 today. Can you believe that? That never happens. Hey, Mama. Good to see ya. But in my email box this morning, I got a notification from the Dallas Business Journal that my PR firm, Cooper Smith Agency, which has been around for 20 years and actually is soon to get a new name, because I'm neither Cooper Smith nor do I want my name in the agency anymore. But I got notification that my PR firm was ranked for the 17th year in a row. So out of the 20 years of our existence, 17 of them, we've been ranked as one of the top PR firms in Dallas. It's not a paid thing. It is based, you submit your financials, all that kind of stuff, and they rank it based on that. And so I'm in the top 25 in the city of Dallas, or North Texas, actually. It's Dallas County, Collin County, Tarrant County, Denton County, whatever. So big news. Thank you, Mom. My biggest fan. Actually, I'm the only person that's a bigger fan than you of me. Thank you. And then Eric's at school inputting grades for the papers he graded last night. Well, that's good. No good deed goes unpunished, right? Thank you, Jackie. So anyway, that was big news to start my day. So I was very happy about that. And then I had a busy morning, a lot of work stuff to do. And then I had a volunteer lunch with the head of school of our school, and then just did some other things. Had to take some Amazon back. And again, I took it to the UPS store, and by the time I returned home, I already had the credit for the stuff that was still at UPS. It just blows my mind that is a thing that they can do. I did go to Total Wine and More, I'm not going to lie, because it is Friday night. It is RuPaul's Drag Race night. There's no work tomorrow. I can have a little sip of wine, maybe 2 to 30 sips of wine. Yeah. So Facebook may get a little bit more interesting tonight. And I could drink tomorrow night too. So I went and bought I'm not going to promise you that I'm a classy bitch. I bought a box of Boda Breeze, which is a lower calorie, lower carb. And I think they say lower calorie and lower carb. I don't think it's low calorie and low carb. It's lower. Sauvignon Blanc, Boda Breeze, I think is the brand. So we will see. I need to I think we tried it before, and I don't think I remember hating it. So that's a plus, right? I didn't hate it. So anyway, went by there and then came home. But I was wanting to tell y'all about, I joke with the kids that, and my mom is watching, and she can appreciate everything I'm about to say. I come from parents who were very young when they had me. My dad and mom were both 20. They were a month apart. My dad was born in February of 54, my mom in March of 54. and I was born in December of 74. So they were just shy of their 21st birthday. They were 20 and 10 months, 20 and 9 months, whatever, And Mom, you might have gotten pregnant on your 20th birthday. That just came to me. Something I don't want to think about. But anyway, my parents were young. We all kind of grew up together because that's what happens. My dad was just kind of, well, I have no memories of my parents being married at all. Actually, they got divorced when I was in kindergarten. So I have memories from when they were married. I have no memories of them being married. And I actually suspect my sister doesn't have any memories at all of any of it because she's 2 years younger than me. She was 3 when they divorced. But anyway, but my mom, so we lived with my mom part of my childhood, my dad part of my childhood, my mom and my dad. They like to fight over custody. It's all worked itself out, but that was my childhood. Hang on, I just thought of something. But anyway, so my mom, though, I basically have my mom's temperament, generally speaking. I look like a spitting image of my father. Like, I look like a clone of my father, which was particularly disturbing to me when he was on his deathbed and I saw basically a future version of myself lying there dying. Like, talk about existential crisis. That is, I cannot stress enough how much that mentally impacted me. But and next week is 6 months since my dad died. That's just blowing my. Part of me feels like it was yesterday, and part of me feels like it was like that is written history forever ago. All of that kind of stuff, And he and I weren't particularly close, but anyway. So my mom and I, though, we share a lot. We share the same stupid sense of humor. We share the same. Well, we both have blonde hair. Mine is helped along, let's say, but my mom has this color hair. My dad did when he was young, but what else? And then in terms of patience with people, we both have the similar patience with people where we could be very calm. We are fine. And also my mom is tall, or was. I think she's shrunken a little bit with age, but she's pushing like 6 foot tall, 5'11", 5'10", whatever. But so we have the same kind of Zen attitude, kind of like, you can't fuck with me. Like, you just can't fuck with me, right? But there's a line. And no one actually knows where that line is. It's way out there in most cases. But there are certain things that happen that the line is pretty close, right? And you cross it, and that throws a switch, and it is on. I can remember, and I'm not saying it's Mommie Dearest. I'm not saying it's that. But it is definitely, let's say, explosive. And I have the same thing. Like, I am totally fine until I am not. And I even can see it coming. And I'll tell the kids, I was like, you're getting really close to the switch. You're getting really close to flipping a switch. Are you sure you want to keep doing this? And then boom, it comes. And everyone is like, hunker down. I don't like beat anybody. I don't say bad things, really. I just lose my temper. I may throw things occasionally. Yes. I remember one, and this is not the story I meant to tell, but this is a funny story. My sister and I, we lived in Midland, Texas at the time. I wish Monica were watching right now. I don't know if she is. We were in Midland, Texas at the time, and I was in maybe the 4th grade, 3rd grade, and Monica was in, she had 2 years behind me, so like 1st or 2nd grade, and we shared a room, and my mom was like, clean up the room, pick up all those books, put them on the shelf, get this room straightened up. So we did, and being little punk ass kids that we were, grabbed the books, just put them on the shelf, not just dumped on the shelf. My mom comes in and she's like, okay, I thought I asked you to put those books on the shelf. And I don't know if it was Monica or if it was me, it's probably me, says to her, we did. There are books and they're on the shelf. Something shitty like that, right? Technicality. My mom was like, not anymore. Literally grabbed the bookcase, dumped the bookcase onto the ground, and then put the bookcase back up. She was like, now do it right. That's some bullshit that I do still as an adult. And I'm not saying it's the most mature thing. I'm not saying it's even the healthiest thing. It is funny though. It makes for after the fact, once the trauma wears off and you can get past the trauma and get to the funny, it's a really funny story, right? Y'all are laughing, right? So last night, and my mom, when we were living in San Antonio, we moved a lot. I was just telling Todd today about that. I can only think of, so like a lot of kids have a ton of stability, like one house, one school, that kind of thing, or they moved a lot. We moved a lot. Like I went to kindergarten at the same school from first day of school to last day of school. Kindergarten, fourth grade. Kindergarten was in Runge. Fourth grade was in Midland. And in between there, we went to multiple schools each year, almost never in the same place. Midland. Sixth grade, I think, was Uvalde. Yes, sixth grade in Uvalde. And then I think after that, the only seventh grade in Hallettsville, I believe. And then ninth and 10th grade in Donna, and then 12th grade in McAllen. Like that is, and Monica had it just as bad as me. More stability in the high school years. But anyway, and like by comparison, my children have lived in the same house since they were born. When they were brought to this house. Claire is convinced that she's going to inherit this house or buy it from us someday. I doubt that's going to happen, but you never know. But anyway, so last night so my mom, I'm bouncing all over the place. Sorry. My mom is saying San Antonio. What was in San Antonio, Mom? I don't think I went to a full year of school in San Antonio at all. I know I started, where did I start? I started at Hobby Middle School in the 7th grade. No. Yeah, I think that's where 7th grade, but I don't think I finished there. I think we moved to Uvalde or to Hallettsville after that. So I might have gone to 8th grade, but anyway, snobby hobby. I know. I don't think I went to a whole year there though. I'm pretty sure I did not finish a year there. I think that we moved at some point that year. So anyway, I am right. Those are my favorite words. Thank you. Snobby hobby. Yes, that was the school. But anyway, when we lived in San Antonio when I was young and Mommie Dearest came out, you know, the movie about Joan Crawford played by Faye Dunaway and Christina with all the iconic things. Christina, bring me the axe. No wire hangers. Yes. I'm not mad at you. I'm mad at the dirt. I think that's what she says in that one. Eric, you'll need to correct me. You probably know all the lines from that movie. But so we went and saw that movie, and I will say that was kind of I think my mom was thinking, and keep in mind, when I was 7, my mom was 27. When my mom was 30, I was 10. When I was graduating college, my mom was 42. So keep that in mind when we're talking about this. My dad too, also. But she took me there, and I'm certain that we went and saw Mommie Dearest, not only because it was a great movie, but because it was kind of one of those. See, you could have it so much worse, children. I'm doing great on the Mommie Dearest quotes. Thank you. I've seen it a few times. Good movie, such a good. We may need to watch it this week. But last night I had a moment with my children, a Mommie Dearest moment with my children. Well, one of them in particular. So once a week we have a night called Fix It Your Damn Self, and it is even written on the board it's Fix It Your Damn Self night, and that's like leftovers, or if you don't want leftovers, you can make some macaroni and cheese or pop something in the air fryer. But the chef is off that night. We have enough leftovers that everyone can have something, or takeout or whatever. You can't order takeout, but if we have stuff in the fridge, it's Fix It Your Damn Self night. So that was last night. And one of the things that I had made earlier in the week is spaghetti and meatballs with vodka sauce. It's so good. Oh my God. And I love spaghetti. I could eat spaghetti every single week. I love spaghetti so much. And actually we do eat. We bounce between spaghetti bolognese and spaghetti with vodka sauce and meatballs. That's the two that we bounce between. I make huge batches of it and I freeze them. stack them flat to let them freeze, and then file them. Saves a ton of time too. But anyway, so last night was Fix It Your Damn Self night, and my beloved son Mason gets out the spaghetti. Spaghetti meatballs is one of his favorites, especially this vodka sauce with the meatballs. Rao's vodka sauce, people, I tell you, it's the best. Rao's marinara sauce is great too. But he piles into his bowl like this heaping, like comical size bowl of it. And he says, I'm going to take all of this so Claire can't have any. Literally what he said out of his mouth. And I'm like, what? And I was like, you better eat all that, because he's been notorious lately for putting too much food on his plate and not eating it. And I'm not one of those you have to eat everything on your plate kind of people. I'm one of those don't take it unless you're going to eat it kind of people, right? Especially for first portion. First portion, like you can always go back for seconds. And so Mom is saying I should watch Mommie Dearest with Claire and Mason, and especially Mason. So last night he does it, and I'm like, you're going to eat everything on that plate, particularly because you said that you were doing it so that your sister could not have any. So you were stuck with that. So he's like, fine, I'll eat it all. He literally gets like 5 bites into it. And he's like, I'm full. I can't eat anymore. I was like, bitch, you're going to eat all of that food. And he's like, no, I'm not going to eat it tonight. I was like, okay. I went and got a piece of saran wrap, wrapped up the bowl. Like it's all still in the bowl. Wrapped it up. I said, this is from now until this bowl is empty. This is the only thing that you are eating in our house. And he's like, no, I don't believe you. I was like, you want to try me? Is this one of your fuck around and find out moments, kid? Is this what you're playing me right now? I was like, I was like, Mommie Dearest is here, and you are going to eat that. Because there's a scene of Mommie Dearest, if you haven't seen it, where Christina won't eat her food, and it just sits on the bedside table, I think for days. And she's not allowed to eat anything else. But I'm not going that extreme. It went in the refrigerator. I'm kind. I'm sweet to my children. So I was like, you want breakfast? Okay, spaghetti and meatballs for breakfast. And then now we normally order pizza on Friday nights. So I was like, Mason's not getting pizza until that spaghetti is gone. And he goes, well, what if I just throw it away? And I was like, again, fuck around and find out, kid. I was like, I will fish that spaghetti out of the garbage and I will feed it to you. And he's like, that's gross. That's abuse. I was like, no one's ever died from their food touching some wet paper towels and an old banana peel. Like, you'll be fine, kid. So we're seeing, and I'm like, Mason, I was like, you think that you're playing with me. I was like, I am one thing. I can be, I don't brag about it. I'm not particularly proud of it, but I can be a very spiteful person when it comes down to testing my nerves. I don't do it normally. Normally, I'm a very zen. Normally, I'm an eraser person. And I learned this from my mother as well. You cross me, and I've given you plenty of chances, a big eraser just across the screen, and it is as if you don't exist. I can act like someone has never existed. My mother's the only person better than me at it. Just not even acknowledging their existence, like just erased, right? Blocked on the phone, blocked on social, everything just gone, evaporated. Can't do that with your kid though. And I lost my train of thought. Oh, and about being spiteful. I was like, you don't want to test me. I was like, I can be spiteful when it counts, and I can also be stubborn. I can definitely be more stubborn than a little 13-year-old punk. So it's on the counter right now. I pulled it out of the refrigerator. It still has saran wrap on it. So how long do you think it will take for him to finish it? I think it will be done tonight. I think that he will have eaten it before the pizza gets here. I've not even ordered the pizza. But even Todd is like, kid. Todd doesn't always agree with my strategies, but he's like, kid, you were given plenty of warning. You knew this was coming. Like, again, fuck around and find out. Like, just don't. So, Logan is, my niece Logan, Monica's daughter. I watched Mommie Dearest once with Mom, and I remember her telling me that I could have had it worse. Exactly. It's a family tradition. You should compare notes with Mason and Claire sometime. Anyway, so that was that. last night, so we'll see. And I remember my mother doing a similar thing. I should have called this the Cheryl Carson episode. Fortunately, my mother also has the same it is impossible to offend me. If I have done it and we all survived and we can laugh about it, then let's laugh about it. When I was young, I believe we were living in Uvalde. This is one of those memories from when my parents were married, but them being married is inconsequential to the story. So my dad's not in this memory at all. But I remember we were living at my grandma Grimmel's house, my mom's grandma, so my great grandmother. We lived there, and we went to the grocery store, which is like a block over. Details may be a little fuzzy on this, so just go with it. I may be taking some creative license. I don't think I am, but who knows? And we were in the grocery store, and I wanted malto meal. You know what malto meal is? If you don't, it is a box. It is similar to oatmeal, but more granular, and it is dried, and you put milk in it. It's almost like potato flakes, like instant mashed potatoes, but grainier. It's like if instant mashed potatoes and oatmeal had a baby. It's like kind of in the middle of that. So malto meal is one of the big brands. I wanted it. My mom said, no, we cannot have it. You cannot have it. And I don't think we had a lot of money back then. Also, she just didn't want me to have it because it's disgusting. I now know. I snuck it into the cart, and it made it somehow through the checkout line. It made it home, and my mother discovered that I had basically stolen from her at this point. She told me no. I betrayed her. I made her pay for it anyway, and now we have malto meal at our house. She made me eat malto meal for every single meal until I finished the box. That's my memory of it. I don't know if mom's memory is the same, but yes. Malto meal is fucking gross, Eric is saying. Of course, he didn't say it quite that way. The smell nauseates me. Yes. Well, try having the memory of... So I didn't even know what it was, actually. I don't recall that. I think it was the first and only time I've ever eaten it in my life, because I think I saw it on a Saturday morning cartoons commercial or something like that and thought, that's what I want. And she's like, no, you don't, kid. You don't. It's terrible. You don't want it. It's bad. No one likes it. And Monica's saying, I would feed it to the dogs when you weren't watching. Oh, really? I don't recall that part, but yes. So my mom made me eat that until the box was empty. And I don't know that I've had malto meal ever since then. It is so nasty. It is just, so the kids wanted it once, and I did buy it for it. It may exist in our house still right now. I bought it for the kids, and because they wanted it, and I was like, it's terrible. It's terrible. And they're like, we don't believe you. It sounds great. Fuck around and find out, kids. I bought it for them, though. I was not going to do that. So how old were you? I don't remember that at all. That's why I'm thinking, I think it was before I was in kindergarten. I think that this would have been, Monica, you may have been like 1 or 2 years old. Because if I remember correctly, Monica, do you even remember living at Grandma Grimmel's house? Because I think we moved out of that house when I was 4, maybe, like right before kindergarten. We moved from Uvalde, because that's where I was born and grew up my young childhood and then kind of middle of my childhood. Uvalde, and then we moved to Runge, I think, after that. So here's the thing. Todd is always like, how do you remember all of these little tiny details about all of these things, but you can't remember like how much your car cost? You can't remember what someone told you it was going to cost to do XYZ 2 days ago. Like, yeah, I don't know. I have a great long-term memory. Let's just put it that way. But yeah, malto meal. Don't try it if you haven't. So, what else? What else was I having here? Have y'all been watching any? Mom was saying I was really crazy in my younger parenting years. No shit. So here's the thing that it didn't drive me nuts. I think it drove Monica nuts more, and she's over it now. But we have a little brother. Houston is his name. And Houston is 13 years younger than me, 11 years younger than Monica. Houston and I and Monica, we all technically have the same human as a mother, the same genetic person. And Houston is from my late stepfather. So he's my half brother technically, but I don't subscribe to like half all that kind of stuff. So my baby brother Houston, his mother and my mother look the same. They sound the same. They share DNA. They share the same parents. But you know what they don't share? Anything else. They're not the same. So my mom, by then, I don't know if you'd grown up or if you'd read a book about parenting, or there was no internet, so it wouldn't have been like checked out the websites. Or if you just were like, it's not that. I did it fine with 2. This one will be okay, because he had the nicest, sweetest, kindest mom ever. I don't think he had any of the Maltomial stuff. So but anyway, where was I going with that? Anyway, just about how mom was crazier in her younger years. Yeah. So Monica does remember my great grandmother's house. You might remember visiting them, not living there. We used to use her, and it was colostomy bag, not colostomy, her enema bag as a bagpipe. Yeah, we have since. So funny story, and this is not on my list. Monica and I used to sneak into her bathroom, and then we would pretend we were playing the bagpipe with her enema bag. She had this blue, it looked like a hot water bottle, blue, hung on the door, and it had the tube, and then the end looked like it kind of looked like a tampon, right? Like like a tampon that still had the plastic around it, not the thing. It's like a little thing with a bunch of holes in it. And Monica and I would just blow it up, play with it, and all that. And I don't even know if mom knows this. And it wasn't until years later, like as adults. And Monica, you and I may have been together when we discovered this, but we were somewhere and we saw a enema bag. I'd never seen one before, but we saw an enema bag that looked identical to this one. And we both realized what we had done. And it was like, what have we been doing? We put the free range in free range children. Let's just put it that way. So I forgot about that story. Thank you for that memory, Monica. Anyway, everything else I have on my card have to do with King Charles today. I feel like the sentiment about King Charles is Monica, back on the enema bagpipe thing. Monica has told my mom about it since then. Yeah, isn't that crazy? But the sentiment about King Charles III, as he is known now, I feel like it's already warming up. I feel like people who originally were like, I don't think that he can do it or whatever, I'm feeling like the press coverage, at least that I'm seeing in the interviews and such, are kinder. I thought it was interesting. You know, they haven't had a change in monarch in over 70 years. And so the things that you don't think about that have to happen are happening. So they had to change the lyrics to the theme song, or not the theme song, the national anthem. God Save the Queen is now God Save the King. And it's interesting to think that virtually no living person on the planet had ever sung God Save the King before. They had all sung God Save the Queen, because that's what it was changed to when she became queen. And so everyone's having to new, and there's like a couple of spots in the song, I think, where it says her, and they had to change it to his. But all of that, I have not seen the speech yet. I think his speech today was great. I've not seen it yet, but that probably played a lot into it. The speech was at noon today. I was having lunch at this adorable restaurant in Bishop Arts called Written by the Seasons. Funny about this restaurant, though, it had a 3-page menu, and maybe a third of the first page was food. Everything else was booze, and it wasn't a boozy lunch I was on. And it was beautiful, beautiful. The food was good. I'm going to try it for dinner next. I think lunch was the thing. But anyway, so God Save the King. And then this is what fascinated me too. I wrote the numbers down, all 4.7 million banknotes and 29 billion coins that have her face on them, Queen Elizabeth's face, have to be replaced. And they're not going to do it all at once. They're going to do it in a phased approach. But they will actively be replacing her face with his face on the coins. He also pledged, I did see the highlights of the speech. He did pledge today that he, like she, will remain the monarch every day that God allows him to live on the planet, every day of the rest of his life. So anyone who thought he was going to abdicate so that Wills could come up and be King William or whatever he was going to be. That was dashed today. He's in it. Here's my wish for them. I wish Camilla Parker Bowles, Queen Consort, would get a little fashion. I know Queen Elizabeth wasn't a fashion plate, but at least she had all those colors and she had the funny hats and all that stuff. Camilla just was bleh. So I think she's going to need a little image upgrade to keep up with society these days. And here's the other thing I noticed. If you are British and you are an aging Brit in particular, you are in a very, very strong minority if you remain physically attractive beyond a certain age. The number of old people that they are interviewing that I'm like, how old are you? They're ancient looking. They're all splotchy. They all got liver spots all over them. They all look like they're about to teeth all over the place because they don't believe in dental hygiene. I'm like, just at one day, does everyone just go poof and you just shrivel up? Because that's what it seems like. Anyway. And that was the petty portion of Cooped Up today. Okay, let me look at the comments. Monica is saying that we were at the Walgreens in PSJ, which is short for Far San Juan Alamo, which is the group of towns in between Donna, Texas and McAllen, Texas. Donna is what I consider my last hometown. I tell people McAllen, but it's really Donna. I have 3 hometowns. I have Uvalde, Hallettsville, and the Rio Grande Valley, specifically Donna. But yeah, we were at the Walgreens and we laughed so hard. I think it was funny because I remember it was like a flash. Both of us, because my sister and I are kind of like telekinetic. I don't know. No, that's not the right word. Not telekinetic. What do you call it? Where it's similar, telepathic with each other. Like both of us could just give an eye. Like we see something and we shoot eyes across and we both instantly know what the other person is thinking. We both bust out laughing at the exact same moment, like uncontrollably, if anyone is around us. So yeah. Vitamin D deficiency. They've never seen the sun. Oh, the Brits. Yes, I agree. I'm like, take a pill, bitch. I take a vitamin D pill every night. What else? I think that's it for today. Okay. Well, Logan, if you're still watching, it was fun that you joined the fun today. Alrighty. Well, y'all have a great weekend. I love you. It's important to know you are loved. I love that you watch this. Thank you for my daily dose of external processing and therapy. Have a great weekend. Don't do too much, but if you do it well. If you can't be good at it. That's what that needs to be on a pillow too. And with that, I will see you Monday at 4:30 for another episode of Cooped Up Live. Should I say? Talk to you later. Bye. Have a good weekend.